Mauricio Mejia Live. Entertainment guru, Silicon Valley entrepreneur, author, and speaker. It's Mauricio Mejia Live. Bringing to you real people, real day-to-day life experiences, and real business opportunities. If you dare to step up. Do you have what it takes to take it to the next level and become who you are truly destined to become? Decide, commit, execute. Join the thousands of viewers around the world and become a part of the conversation. Mauricio Mejia Live.
Here we go. I'd like to welcome everyone again. It's Wednesday, and it is Mauricio Mejia Live, season number 2, and we are now on episode number 10. I cannot believe how time just goes so fast. Just over a year ago, actually, a little over a year ago is when I started the first show with my book, the release of Smoke and Mirrors back in March. And then we got hit with the pandemic, and then the creation of Mauricio Mejia Live. We did season 1. We did 30 episodes there, and now we are on season number 2. So we're on episode number 10 tonight, too. So, wow, just crazy again. We're broadcasting live on Facebook, YouTube, and now we just added Twitch. So we're broadcasting on 3 platforms. That's right, 3 platforms. I'm excited. Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. So make sure to look me up, Mauricio Mejia Live, on either Facebook, YouTube, or on Twitch, guys. So again, we're broadcasting live right now. We are live, yes, live, pinch, from our downtown studios in downtown San Jose, heart of Silicon Valley. And so far, we have had business entrepreneurs, we've had real estate moguls, we've had some political leaders, we've had some stock advisors, we've had a fitness guru the last couple of weeks. Entertainment, we're still working on those. We got some of those coming up at the end of the month, so I'm excited on what's coming up. And as always, we want to keep it fresh and exciting. So again, Mauricio Mejia Live every Wednesday, 6 p.m. on the West Coast and 9 p.m. on the East Coast. And thank you to everyone that has been very supportive. And again, appreciate it. Much love to everyone. Thank you for all the support. And tonight's going to be an exciting show. It's going to be a little bit different. But before we do that, we got to get into our hot topic. All right, hot topic number 1. California is back up. That's right, June 15th. The governor has said it. June 15th, that means that we're going to open up these doors and get our economy back. So that's going to be exciting. But that doesn't mean go get crazy and, turn it up. That means let's keep it safe. Let's keep our masks on. Even when they take the requirement off of wearing masks, I think that now it's more acceptable to wear it and to feel safe because, at the same time, there's germs flying in the air. So make sure to keep it safe, mask up, and let's not end up and be another Miami. We saw what happened over in Miami during their spring break. It went ape shit bananas. And, we don't know what the effects are of what happened then. But let's keep it safe. June 15th is when our doors are supposed to be opening up. So let's keep it safe, guys. Hot topic number 2. We got to send much prayers and love to the DMX and to his family. I grew up on DMX and a bunch of other 90s artists. So DMX, our prayers are with you, my man. Just let's stay strong, man, and let's hope you power through this, man. So the other one, last but not least, Punch King. It's official. We are bringing Punch King to the Silicon Valley. This is going to be the first of its kind. Punch King Fitness is going to be here. We're going to be the showroom and fitness center is going to be here in downtown San Jose. So I'm super excited about that. We got a great team that we're building, that we built, and that we're going to continue to build. My boy Gabe Scarpelli, who brought in King Lay, and along with Henry Chu, and then my boy Ruben Guerrero. So we're building a massive team. We're going to be covering all kinds of different parts of fitness. So exciting things are happening here in the Silicon Valley, here in downtown San Jose. And now with the world opening up, things are going to be a little exciting. So tonight, guys, we're doing something a little bit different, and I'm very excited about this. And I always love surprises. Last season when I did episode 10, I had the honor of having Stedman Graham here on my show on episode number 10. So I made it memorable, and so I said, we're going to go into episode number 10, and I wanted to see how we can make it a memorable one. So tonight, we're doing a little bit something different, and what we're calling it is a double hitter. We got two exciting guests. So I'm excited to introduce to you our first guest, who and again, I love when we're doing things live, because things happen and we got to adapt, because that's just the way it is in show business. You got to adapt. You never know what's going on the back end, but all you see is on the front end, and you get to see all the good things that happen. But tonight, I have the honor to have. She's become a friend. I've got to know her and a little bit about her, and we did they were working on a promotion because she is the director of the Poppy Jasper International Film Festival, and they used one of our locations, our restaurant down in Morgan Hill, as a backdrop for putting some promotions together. So I'm a person that loves to reciprocate. It's not a one-way street. If we all work, we're supposed to all work together. So she did that, and at the same time, I want to be able to support her and her journey and on her ventures and things and so forth. So I said, you know what? Hey, let's get you on the show. By coincidence or by chance, tonight is the opening of the International Film Festival, the Poppy Jasper one. And of course, she's got to bring me with some surprises. We do a little sound check earlier today, and everything looks great. And I guess we're going to be broadcasting live from location where she's at. And what can I say? She's going to be broadcasting from her cell phone. So I don't want to waste any more time. I want to bring her on board because I can see her in the backstage right now. Her hair is just going all through with the wind. So I'm going to bring her on board right now. And my girl, Mattock Scariot. How are you, Maddie? Wow. You want to add some flavor to the show, don't you, huh? Here we go.
I'm trying to get the screen. We're putting up a drive-in tonight. So we thought we'd start Poppy Jasper up with a bang and do a drive-in movie night on our first day.
Well, thank you for kicking off my episode number 10 with a bang too here. I'm excited. I love surprises because they make me adapt right away, and that's just part of being in business. That's part of being in show business. And in the movie industry, it's about creating that smoke and mirrors. And I just want to say thank you for taking the time. Today is the opening of the Poppy Jasper International Film Festival. And with that said, I know you're holding a phone, and we're gonna make this thing happen. But this is a live interview here. Give us a little background on you, so that the audience out there know who you are, being a director of the Poppy Jasper International Film Festival, and you shared with me earlier today, a couple of the awards and just things that the impact that this film festival has had in the film world. So share with us.
Well, I am a big proponent of the arts, and I'm a filmmaker myself. And so when I was asked to take on this film festival, it was like the planets aligned, and it was the thing I thought, this is what I was meant to do my whole life. And everything I had learned culminated to this moment. And I love nonprofit organizations. I love giving back to the community. And so it was an honor to be asked, and I'm making the most of it.
That's awesome. And I know you say you're a filmmaker yourself. Is that what the 152 West production is?
Yes, I'm a co-owner of a film production company. We make feature films. We do documentaries. Anything you can do with a camera, we do it. Lots of corporate videos. The reason I think the film festival looks as good as it does is because we put our production company backs it up with a lot of filmmaking. So
awesome. Yeah. Give us a little history on the festival. I mean, I learned of the festival this year. We have a mutual friend. We got to give a shout out to her, Maria. If you're out there watching, drop us a little line here on the chat box. But Maria introduced us, and boom, we're here. So give us a little history about this film festival.
Yeah, Maria Sid is my partner in crime in this all this. She's amazing. I couldn't do this film festival without her, and I really appreciate her connecting us. The festival started in 2004 by a group of community leaders, and it I think it did pretty well in the beginning. It slowly declined, and you know I took it over in 2018 and I brought it back. And it went from 300 people attending, and I think in 2020, if we could have had it, we thought that maybe 5,000 people were going to be in attendance. And I
Wow.
took it to from a one city festival to a 5 city festival. So we're in Morgan Hill, San Martin, Gilroy, Hollister, and San Juan Bautista. We're the first regional event in the history of this area. So I'm super proud. I grew up here, had cousins in Morgan Hill and Hollister, and to have a festival that connects us all together, it just makes my heart full. And I'm super proud of what we've achieved.
That's awesome, and for the people that are out there watching that don't know where Morgan Hill or Gilroy, well, everyone needs to know Gilroy is the capital of the world of garlic, but it's about 15-20 minutes away south of San Jose, and San Jose is the heart of the Silicon Valley. So, and we're 45 minutes south of San Francisco. So you're about an hour away south from San Francisco, and about what 45 minutes north of Monterey, or
Yeah,
east northeast.
yeah, we're south of Silicon Valley and north of Monterey County in a valley that used to be called Paradise Valley, and it's called Paradise Valley for a reason. We're surrounded by mountains, and we have about 60 wineries, and I don't know how many breweries and Michelin star chefs. Like we have a beautiful place to come visit.
I know that Morgan, or I know that that valley there's been conversations how they could compete against Napa Valley, but
Oh
you know
yeah,
Napa over there, they want to take the claim and the trophy away. But hey,
that's
I've heard.
okay.
I've heard it. I believe that sometimes you have to keep the gem a secret from everybody else so that they don't come and ruin it or take it away. Take away from the locals. So,
Yeah.
tell me about the film festival. How many films are you showcasing? And not only that, but it's all virtual this year because obviously, and last year there was no festival, right?
Right.
2020. So we're,
Yeah.
we're we go through we're going through a pandemic. I'm hoping that we're on the tail end of this, and eventually we can say that there's going to be a post-pandemic, and then in 2022 that you guys come out swinging hard, and that the comeback. It's not even the comeback, but when we're able to get into real theaters and really do some production. Which, by the way, I'm going to offer my help, and I want to
Oh
volunteer.
my God.
Yeah, I want to be a
Oh
part of
my
this
God.
because I want to be a part of it. It's here, it's
Thank
live.
you.
I want to be a part of it because my specialty and my background is concerts, events, and
Oh my
entertainment,
God.
and I would totally love to do something with your event in 2022. Because I believe in my heart of hearts that the roaring 20s of the new century are happening. So people are gonna come out as much as we don't want them to go ape shit. They're gonna go crazy because it's gonna go bananas. People are
Yeah.
people want to get out and they're gonna want to have a good time. So tell us what movies or how many films are gonna be are showcased.
It was really heartbreaking to lose the festival in 2020. Like I said, we had 8 days planned, and 5 cities, with so much expectation. It was hard, but we pivoted beautifully, and we took everything we had planned for 2020, moved it to 21 on this platform called Eventive. We have 180 films from 38 countries. And what happened is we realized that we have an opportunity for the world to see us. And so we
Hmm.
took that opportunity, we made the most of it. And we have about 12 panel discussions with industry professionals from visual effects to composing to puppeteering to screenwriting, and people we would never get to come to the film festival we've got. And it's an opportunity for people to learn about filmmaking from the professionals, and these are Academy Award winning, Grammy Award winning professionals, and it's made a connection, and it's brought people to us that who see us and think, wow, I want to come next year. because we have a beautiful space, and so the world is watching us, and we took
Yes.
the opportunity to, like you said, we went to Chacho's, we went to about 30 businesses and did our filmmaker awards, and we did welcome videos, so that the world can see what our community looks like.
Yeah, you guys did a fabulous job. I don't know because I didn't get to be on the second part of it. I was there during the first part of the filming. We had mariachis, live mariachis. We had folklorico dancers, and I know that the next day, I know that the sons of Los Tigres del Norte were interviewed, and I'm maybe one or two of the fathers maybe showed up of Los Tigres. If not, I know that the whole crew was there. Having a good time, and so you guys didn't play around. You guys honored Mexico Day. You guys part of the theme. What's the theme this year for the film festival?
The theme is always that we can change the way we see each other through film, and so we try our best to get an international flavor where you see films from countries that you wouldn't expect, and I really wanted to focus on Mexico and China. Mexico, of course, because from the community that we live in, the majority of people are from Mexico, and China, because both those minorities are not only underrepresented but misrepresented in film and television, and we need to change that. And so we focus on those countries so that we can change the way people see Mexico and China. And we celebrate films from those countries. And I mean from those countries. They were made in Mexico. They were made in China. And we have panel discussions with people from those countries about the film industry. And then we celebrate them with a ceremony with music, art, and film.
That's awesome. And it's got to be interesting to see. Obviously, Mexico is our neighbor. And to see that not only Mexico, but all the Latinos from Central America and South America, Latinos all around the world. And that was really, what I got out of the message when we did the promo at Chacho's was, it's not only bringing Mexico, but bringing all Latinos together.
Oh, of course.
Especially when the world just feels upside down right now. And then, bringing movies from China, communist China. Imagine what that would be. What's that like to get that message out from out there? And then with the way the world is and what we're dealing with right now in the Asian community, where it's just the two very impacted communities, and right now it's really when we need to bring our world together, whether it's through the arts, whether it's through music, whether it's just having some human kindness. And I think that's really where it just. In the interview that I had with you guys, with your team, I really remember that one of the things I said was that I think that really right now is when we all need to really pull together and really, really just open up our hearts, and open up our minds and really just start to heal from all the last 12 months of what we've gone through to now, celebrate it with some good art and some good films and films with a message and give me what's the featured film of the whole festival. I mean, I know they're all, but which is the star of the supposed to be the star of the or you can't tell or is it?
Well, it's like you're asking me who my favorite child is. That's not fair. That's not fair. We all of the films are amazing. All the features that we chose are so impactful, and we have the Dominican Republic, we have Israel, we have Austria, we have Mexico, we have China, and it's just I can't pick. I don't want to.
I don't want to put you on the spot here, especially when you're the director. Then they're going to be like, really? No, but so there's a variety, and so the show starts today. And thank you again. You're there on location. You're doing the out. You're kicking it off outdoor. Awesome. You guys adapted to the environment. Next year, when I'm a part of this, we're going to be doing an outdoor concert after or the opening. We're going to do the VIP opening party for your event and the closing party. So count me in for those.
Great.
What? How can people watch these movies? How do they tap into this festival? I know that we're going to be giving away the website where they can go and purchase tickets. Is there still? I mean, tickets are still available, right?
Oh yeah. Oh my God, yes. And you go to pjiff.org,
Okay.
and there's a big red ticket on the front page, and it says buy tickets. You just click on that, and it takes you to our Eventive site, and you can still buy an all access pass, or you can get a day if you want to just buy one day, or if you want to just buy a block of films. And by a block of films, I mean you can either get a feature film, or you can get about 6 to 8 short films all in a 2-hour segment.
Wow. It's going to be interesting
Yeah.
to see. You're going to be able to collect a lot of data and experience just from this one, and then
Yeah.
really learn, because then next year, where I see things going is going to be a blend. It's going to be a hybrid of live and people that don't want to go out and are going to want to stay home and experience and have an experience from home. So it'll be interesting to see what happens on this year's festival. And
Yeah.
I wish you a bunch of luck out there with this. It starts today and it goes for how many days?
14.
14 days. So from the 7th to the 21st or to the 20th. Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. And a couple more questions, because I know you're about to get busy over there. What are from a business side, what are some of the goals and aspirations for you as a businesswoman and as a director of a film festival like this?
I love the idea of the international, and I just want to grow this festival, and I want to bring people to this community, empower our businesses. I know that when we're here, we stay in the downtowns of all these communities, and
Yes.
and most of the businesses have the best weekend that they ever have throughout the year, and I love hearing that. I love hearing that. We love when you're here, because business is good.
That's
and
awesome.
and the 2019, we had filmmakers from 8 different countries and all across the United States, and it was so great. It's just such a great feeling.
You can imagine the economic impact that
Yes.
you bring to I don't want to call them small towns and sound, but there's a collection of small cities all together, and you bring this influx of business, not only for the hotels, the wineries, the local restaurants, local businesses. So I believe that in 2022, this thing is going to even quadruple in size for you. So one last thing, and you being a businesswoman, an entrepreneur, and then of course holding the title that you hold, what kind of advice would you give to all the boss ladies out there? Because you're a boss lady. So what advice would you give out to all the boss ladies out there?
Find your purpose. I think when you find something outside of yourself that's bigger than yourself, you stand on that, and nobody can mess with you. I know that it's scary getting up and talking in front of people, but when I'm talking about the festival, nobody can mess with me. Nobody, because I have a passion of I have a purpose, and that's what comes out, and that's what you need. You need to find that purpose and that passion.
Well, and you can definitely see it all over you. I know when we did our sound check earlier, you were in a different setting, and now I mean you're glowing and you're excited there, and I'm glad to have you here this evening, and thank you so much for your time. I
Thank
appreciate
you.
it, and we definitely I'll send people to check out the website. It's pjiff.org. I put the links up here, and again, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon, this early evening for you.
Thank you.
And good luck, and I'll follow up with you after, and we'll see how things turn out on this time around, huh?
Thank you, Mauricio. Thank you so much.
All right, good luck. Have a good one out there.
Thank you.
All righty. All right, we want to thank Mattock Scariot, who joined us tonight. Super excited about that. Amazing. Make sure to log on to her website, pjiff.org. Check it out. It's the Poppy Jasper International Film Festival going on starting today for 20 days. So it's going to go till the 20th of this month. So make sure to check it out. Support. Thank you so much, Maria Sid. Thank you for making that connection as well. I appreciate you. You're an amazing human being, and you're a great supporter. And I just can't wait to have you on the show as well. So we got to move right along. My next guest. I can say actually that we've started a friendship here, and not only that, but we've had some conversations, and I've been following him and following his successes, and we run some parallels. Some people ask me, Mauricio, how are you able to be involved in so many different businesses? And I had the opportunity to earlier share my story, and we're going to have that conversation. But I'm very excited to having our second guest. Again, we're doing a double hitter today. It's the 10th episode of Mauricio Mejia Live, and I'm just excited that we wanted to try something different. Obviously, I got a little bit more of a surprise. I had to broadcast live on location. So, hey, when we say live, we mean it. So, my next guest, he's out of Southern California. He goes, and it's a tongue twister, but I had to play it up here. I got it. Damiano Raigoza. He's an entrepreneur. Damiano is the CEO of Taco Maps, and that was one of his launches that caught my attention because we have Chacho's Mexican restaurant, and it's one of the top restaurants here in the Bay Area. Yeah, I could say that. And I was like, man, that would be a cool co-brand or to be a part of that Taco Maps, because who would have ever thought of Taco Maps? That's a real cool idea. So we're going to talk about that. He's also the executive producer for Dale Duro, and that's going to lead to that conversation. And Dale Duro has also brought the opportunity to have one of the guests that I'm going to talk about while we're in the interview. He's the director of business development for Our True Group and president of Blockchain Realty, which I definitely need to learn about that business. He is also the franchise director for Financial Architects. Again, more knowledge here, guys. People that are out there, entrepreneurs, business people from around the world that are watching. This is why I do the show, because I bring business people, business leaders, business entrepreneurs, people with a different mindset that can multitask and that can educate and show you that there is a way. You just have to want it. So also, he is the business development director for Green Horizon CBD and Cannabis Agricultural. So that's another space that I'm working on as well. So we're definitely going to be touching that. And last but not least, he is also a U.S. Navy veteran. So I want to thank him and all the other veterans that are out there for their service. I have family members that have served for this country, and I'm very appreciative and thankful for their courage for doing that, serving our country and doing the things that they need to do so that we can be living in one of the most greatest countries in the world. So with no more further delay here, I want to bring on board my boy, Damiano Raigoza. Damiano, how are you, bro? Bro, why you gotta? It's like a tongue twister, bro. It's like you couldn't have made life easy here for us, huh? Your mic is off. There we go.
Can you hear me now?
There we go. There we go. Yes, there we go. Boom.
Yeah, actually, I was born Damian.
Damian.
And my dad added the O, Damiano. So,
hey, he was thinking Hollywood for you, bro, or singer. He wasn't thinking Damian. He was thinking something else, my brother. So
that's right.
Thank you for taking the time for being here this evening. I know earlier when we did sound check, you were out there with your daughter, swimming lessons, or is she a competitive swimmer?
Man, my daughter is 10th grade, 9th and 10th grade. She made varsity swim.
Wow.
Yeah,
Exactly. All right.
So
all right.
I've had her in sports. My mom, growing up with a single mother in, just 10 miles south of downtown LA, my mom always had us in sports, right? So, sports, group activities like that really shaped who I am as a person. And, so I got her involved in sports at a young age, had her find her passion. It was swimming. And we were actually looking for something to really get her into that crack into college, right? So she's a Latina, she's a swimmer, she's in the water polo team. So those are some of the things that, we were kind of strategizing to get her into college, find a good sport that she liked and that can kind of just like, because, colleges just have wiggle rooms on certain sports to get them in.
Yeah.
And I don't have the millions of dollars to pay in an endowment just because, like some of these people did.
Well, but one of the things that you do have, man, and that's, well, one, you got courage, and you got a lot of heart. One, again, thank you for serving, man. Well, I have a cousin that served in the Navy, U.S. Navy. Then he went to higher levels. The rumor was that he became CIA or some kind of secret agent, something. But and the way he gave it away was every time we asked the question, he would laugh or smirk, and we're like, And then my younger sister, she served for the U.S. Army. She's a badass, man. She fixed it. She was from what I understood, she fixed the Humvees, and she was mechanic. So, and she's a doll. I mean, like, my sister's like, you look at her, you're like, damn, like, what are you're doing what? Now she's a deputy for LA County. I'm so proud of her, and she's gonna. I have a niece coming this month. It's due anytime, so I'm excited about that, man. But thank you so much for taking the time, especially when my brother, we're running parallels right now. I got my staffing company, CalX. I'm working on a real estate development company. I got commercial construction development. I'm a co-founder of Latin Live, which is our Latin media company. And then now, Punch King Fitness. I just became a partner on that project. And I got a bunch of other smaller ones, but these are my top 5 that we're going to really focus on. I have the restaurant businesses, the bar, nightclubs. Well, obviously those are right now are gone. But again, I put my attention and my focus on the ones that are in priority. So if you heard how I listed them, they're not just listed in random, they're listed in order, because that's how I program my mind as well. Like when I talk about things, I put them in order and categories, so that's just the way I'm programmed, man. I'm wired that way. So and I listed I mentioned a few, and I'm going to assume that you probably put those in pecking order of importance.
Most definitely.
So with that said, talk to us, man. What why all these different ventures, and what are some of the things that you're currently doing that are really taking up your that you're investing your time in?
Yeah, I think the most important thing that I can accredit it to is, my mom. My mom's a single mother, and she worked her butt off to take care of 3 boys. And so at a very young age, I learned that I need to be a contribution to the house, and I need to be able to take care of myself. So at a very young age, I started going out and, mowing lawns. One of the things that was actually very successful for me as a kid was I used to go down to the callejones in downtown LA, and that's where you get everything on wholesale.
Yeah.
And they used to have this CD called Fat Jams, and it had all the #1 songs on it. And I had a good connect down there that sold it to me for $1.25. I'd pack my backpack up and sell them at school for $5. Woo. So I was making a killing as a kid. I had other friends that sold candy. I had other friends that sold other stuff.
Yeah.
CDs,
So by the way, we actually go back a couple years, because we first met through a mutual friend, Miles Kovac. Miles Kovac, founder of Dub Magazine. I'm also an LA native. I grew up in Highland Park.
That's right.
So that's 10-15 minutes away from downtown LA, depending on what street you take or how fast you're driving. But there was some commonality, and when I first met you was actually when Miles and I, when I brought up Miles to speak with Stedman Graham at the Capitol Club here in downtown San Jose. And I remember what was so impressive of that day was the fact that you drove just for that event. And I'm actually, I think that after the event, you drove back to LA.
Yeah.
So to me, that showed a level of commitment and curiosity, because nobody just does that kind of stuff. Miles is cool people, and Stedman is cool people. We're boys, and we're all boys. We actually got to do a couple more speaking engagements after that. But what was so? What caught your attention, man?
I'll tell you what. It's my commitment. It's my commitment to Miles, right?
Got it.
Miles is such a revolutionary, such a big heart, awesome guy, right? So Miles told me that he was going on these speaking engagements, and I definitely wanted to support that and what he was doing. Miles always supported me. So after I got done selling the CDs, those CDs allowed me to save up to buy some turntables, right? So in high school, I was the guy DJing at all the high school parties, all the ditching parties, and right. So I was that guy. I was the guy that played all the K-Rock.
All right, hold on, because you're using. How old are you, bro? Because we got to be around the same age. Ditching
I'm 43.
parties.
I'm a little younger.
Okay. I got a year on you. I'm 44.
Yeah.
Man, so we're from that same era. Ditching parties, the turntables, the entertainment industry. So we're kindred souls, brother. We're kindred souls here.
Yeah. And so I got fortunate. There was a record company. Actually, it was they sold all the DJ equipment. It was called SML in Montebello. SML was where all the DJs came and bought their DJ equipment. All the biggest DJs would come there to buy their records and their needles, right? So I used to work there as a stocking guy. I was just like in ninth grade, stocking everything, and they said, "Hey, Damiano, we need someone to just play records in the record room," because they added the records to the business. So I went in there, and one of the guys there at the shop named me DJ Dr. Tunes. So I went by Dr. Tunes for about 6 months, and all these guys from Power 106. It was ¿cómo se llama? Richard Humpty Vision. It was St. John.
Richard Vision now, bro. Richard Vision. That's the cool version.
Right?
Hey, just to fuck with him, we like to call him Richard Humpty Vision. You see him, he gets like all like, no, Richard Vision, bro. Relax, eh? Tony B. Go ahead.
Richard was actually a group in the same neighborhood my cousin did, Marco Olivas, and they grew up in an area called Frogtown, which is right next to downtown LA.
That's right. No, yeah. I know. Yeah. Frogtown's a gang too, bro, out of LA. I mean, talk about some craziness out there. So, I mean, you're talking early 90s, man. I mean, we're young kids. We're young kids. I was promoting, and I don't want to deviate here, but this is just such a great connection here, and it feels good to have this conversation with you, because there's a lot to relate to, see that we're actually running parallels. We don't know each other during the 90s. We're literally neighbors, and you're going one path, I'm going another path. Miles is actually running parallels too, because he's not that. So I'm seeing there's a commonality of our generation as we were growing up, late 80s, early 90s.
Yep.
Because then I have my boy John Pena, Boss Entertainment. Then you have all the promoters. The guy that got me in the industry, Martin Rojas, who was part of Boys from Brazil. And then there was Cesar Dinero, who was the Teddy Boys. And these guys were running some of the biggest club, or some of the dopest clubs in LA. Yeah. I mean, or in the east of LA, which were La Puente was Fantasias in La Puente. There was Peppers in City of Industry. There was Red Onions in West Covina. Caddies, Baby Does. Quiet Cannon. I mean, there's all of this at the same time. Pascual, before EDC came out, he was doing Insomniac. So these guys
that's my parallel. So I DJing at all the high school parties and working at SML introduced me to one of my partners, the guy that worked at SML. His name was Manuel owned Pass Pro Audio Sound System. So he did the Red Onion, he did the Dome, he did a lot of the clubs that he was doing all the sound system for, which got me into started DJing at a lot of these 21 and over clubs when I was just 16, 17 years old. Right?
Oh man, I'm with you, bro. I'm with you. I
was charging $200 for an hour to spin, and I was making my money. But when I started DJing at raves is where I realized I was on the wrong side of the business. I was DJing at a rave, and I went into the count room to get paid because I was going to another party, and they were at 80,000, and they literally took $200 and said, "Hey, thanks, Damiano." At the time, I was going by Sefsky. Thanks, Sef. They gave me my $200, and I watched them count, and I was
more
like,
money.
80,000, 85,000. I'm like, I'm on the wrong side of this. I need to throw the events, not be DJing at them.
That's right.
And that's what was the conversion for me to start throwing events. And I was really big on the rave scene. So I worked with Pascal. The inner community of the rave scene in LA was called Family. And if you were a part of Family, you were a part of the inner circle of the LA rave community.
So then my boy Lenny V, bro.
Oh, Lenny B, most definitely. Lenny
Come on,
B,
bro.
you know, LA had some of the dopest DJs. I was contracting people out from Chicago, like Frankie Bones. All the DJs today are that stuck with it. They made millions. Pascal made millions.
Yeah, he's making millions.
I joined the military, so it was a fast life for me.
Right.
And I saw a lot of people, unfortunately, there obviously there was a lot of drugs involved at the time.
Yeah.
And I just decided to, my partner, his name was Mickey Shea Young. Mickey had a company called KY Lube and stuff. And they were the ones that actually started building all the props for the raves. They would do all this chicken mesh mushrooms and cover it with, paper, whatever. And they would build farms of these mushrooms and forests. And that was his company. And unfortunately, our last rave was called Disneyland. It had a Mickey Mouse with a little tab in its mouth. And a
little vitamin E.
Little vitamin E, exactly.
Wow.
So that was like 1996, 1997, around that time.
So it's crazy you say that because 1990, when I was in the scene, I was really heavy. I was the street promoter for these guys, and like you, I fell in love. I didn't fall in love with the glitz and glamour is what I fell in love with. But what I fell in love with because I was able to see it, and like you, I was getting paid $100 to go pass out flyers at a parking lot. And when I got to sit behind the room, so we're running parallels, man. Yeah. I mean, I'm like just different scenarios. While you're DJing, I'm looking at from the promoter side, passing out flyers, and that was my way of picking up on people, on the girls, right? And communicating because there was no social media, there was no Facebook and Instagram and all this craziness.
The party lines.
There was a party lines, and there was flyers, and then there was map points and all that other stuff.
Yeah.
So for me I was exposed at a young age at the back end of the business, and what I fell in love was the money that I saw sitting on the table. Now, like you, I got to grow up. I grew up with a single mom. My mom was actually she's here on the show. She always watches my show. My mom, she's single mom, hardworking. My sister and I. So for me, I just didn't want to grow up the way that I was being brought up, and now not by choice. It was just the way it is, right?
Yeah.
Young Latino, just so exposed to a lot of things at a very young age, and the first time I got the opportunity to see money stacked the way that I saw, and maybe it wasn't a lot, but when you're a kid and you see stacks of money. Hey, when you don't have it, that's a lot of money. So, so there was things that were triggered in my mind, and like you, which I love what you said. Your mom had a lot to do with it. My mother had a lot to do with my entrepreneurial spirit and waking that up, because seeing her work hard also made me think, how can I contribute and in which ways? Now, obviously, we took different paths, but. That was when I saw that, I was like, dude, I am on the wrong side of the business. I'm not out there passing out flyers. I need to be the guy that's controlling and throwing the parties.
Yeah.
So, like you doing your high school dances, you were DJing them. I actually started producing our high school dances, because the high school dances, they were cheeseball. They were cheesy, like they do them in the cafeteria with the lights on. You're like, dude, this is not sexy, especially when you and I are experiencing nightlife at a very early age. I mean, you're 17. It was younger. I was 15, 16 years old when I was already in 21 and over clubs.
Yeah, me too.
So for us, I mean, walking into the clubs, it was like, oh man, it's on.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. My first exposure, I think, was like 8th grade. There was a club called Attitudes out in Riverside, and then we started going to the Metro in Riverside.
That's right.
That was a cool spot at the time, and then of course the Dome.
Dome.
That was the spot right there in Hollywood every Friday night. They didn't give all you had to do was a high school ID and you got into the Dome, and that was an 18 and over club. Listening to DJ Irene every night, Friday nights.
2,000 plus kids, man, in that on a Saturday night.
Yeah.
I mean, that was that era, and what I've seen, and again, we're gonna talk about what you're doing, because you seem to have your hands in the You're the executive producer for Dale Duro, which is, and I want you to talk to us about that because it seems like you're documenting a certain era of time.
Definitely.
So give us a little background on what Dale Duro is.
Yeah, so I grew up in a little city called Cudahy, which is about 10 miles south of downtown LA. And the apartments I specifically grew up in was called the Soul Train. The Soul Train was infamous. Like everybody, like whether you're in Southgate, Bell Gardens, Huntington Park, Cudahy, Bell, the Soul Train apartments was infamous as like the apartments complex that was just like where all the celebrities went to. We had Ice-T, the Fat Boys, Cypress Hill. They would all come kick it at the Soul Train apartments, right? Mainly because there was a lot of pretty girls that lived in the Soul Train, and there was a particular girl that dated a lot of celebrities, so they would come kick it at the Soul Train. And at the time, the crack epidemic, a lot of the big drug dealers kicked it at the Soul Train apartment. So this is how I met a lot of celebrities that would come through. One particular celebrity that over the years we would see each other's at events is Mellow Man Ace.
Oh man, I
Mellow
love
Man Ace.
Yeah.
Had the biggest hit, crossover, Spanish and English, right? His brother is Sendog, Mellow Man Ace, Sendog, part of Cypress Hill.
That's right.
Cypress Hill is the first Latino group to get a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, right?
Ooh.
So there's this missing story of how Latinos have influenced hip hop, right?
Wow.
So if you like look back all the way back to New York, there's a lot of Puerto Ricans that were just never really highlighted, whether it's photographers, you got graffiti artists, all this which encompasses hip hop. You know, unfortunately, that story of Latinos hasn't been told quite yet, and that's what Dale Duro is. And so we're excited to bring Dale Duro to the market, and we're working on that right now, and I'm really excited about that project with Mellow Man Ace.
Well, I'd love to work on that project with you as well. You know, we can never have enough projects on our table. I think we're like deal junkies here. We just stack ourselves up until we run rugged. I'd love to learn more about that. And I want to thank you too, because at the end of the month, we have Mellow Man Ace is going to be on the show. And that's exciting because Mellow Man Ace was one of my favorite artists growing up because if you didn't know the song Mentirosa, and there was another one, I don't know if it was Cruising or what was the fast one? It was it had just it was just a jamming track. Obviously Mentirosa was the one that took him to the stars and beyond. But I'm gonna have him on the show, and I want to say thank you for that. Excited about having that, and then the fact that the people that you talked about, you know, Sendog from Cypress Hill. Cypress Hill was one of, you know, we grew up on that music. So, and that was really the first of Latino hip hop, like really getting on the map.
Yeah, exactly. There was a time that where hip hop was, Latin hip hop was only played on Sunday nights on Power 106 for a couple of hours called Pocos Pero Locos.
Oh,
and
wow.
Unfortunately, yeah, it was you know, the Latin hip hop artists really didn't get a lot of play, right? So, but Cypress Hill was the one that was able to cross over and just really they came out like a Woodstock, you know, type of band that just went ape wild all over the world. So, but we need to bring those stories to the market. You know, I think this is the time. You know, Latinos take up 58 million people in the world. We had a 1.2 trillion GDP. If Latinos were just, you know, segregated into the United States, we'd be the 7th largest economy in the world. So we really got to take a good look at what Latinos bring to the market. And I think right now is like a perfect time for Dale Duro. So I'm really excited about that project.
Well, count me in, man. I definitely, you know, marketing, promotions, our network, you know, Latin Live, we can showcase it on our Latin Live network. We got over 5 million active users around the world, over 300,000 followers throughout our social media, and it's growing. I think we actually passed. We're probably in the over 400,000 followers. So let me know how we can contribute as well to that cause. You know, so that's one business. You got the film, you're part of the film side, which, man, again, count me in.
And with the film side, just a little bit about our true group. You know, we do music videos. We've done, sadly, we did Nipsey Hussle's last commercial with Puma. Our True Group, we did that. There's a great documentary out right now. It's called Man-Child. That's the story of Shea Cotton.
Yes.
Shea Cotton was the #1 basketball player in LA, bar none.
Yeah.
Over Kobe, over KD, over everybody. Shea Cotton is the man. So
yes,
you need to watch the story. Google Shea Cotton.
We actually met because you I think I remember you attended when we did the event at the top of the U.S. Bank with Miles and Stedman. We did one of our, that was actually our last talk of 2019. Was on top of the LA, the U.S. Bank building, tallest building in the West Coast. And I met him, and he gave me his card. We actually talked once on the phone, and that's a crazy story, man.
It is,
and an amazing true story of a star that. I mean,
NCAA. Again, there's a lot of stuff behind. People don't realize to get to the NBA is this narrow little road, and the NCAA plays a big role in that, and people get into the NBA. So yeah, it's a crazy story. So if you get a chance, go watch the Shea Cotton Man-Child story. You can get it on Amazon Prime. Google Shea Cotton, check it out, and see like the other side of the NBA of basketball, because a lot of times we only hear about the great stuff.
Yeah, we only see the highlights.
The story is just as great, but it's like the tragic story. You know what I mean? And he's doing some great things right now. Shea Cotton has a basketball academy. He's doing some great things, helping kids navigate through the process. So that's so our True Group. We do a lot of music videos. We do a lot of documentaries. We're doing Tony Gwynn's documentary right now. We've done stuff for P&G, Yukonuba, Sony, you name it. Some of the bigger corporations. We've done a lot of work with them. So and with our True Group, we did a tour around the United States. We had a magazine called Atomic Dog Magazine, right? So we would do this tour of these pit bull dog shows where at the time, pit bulls were getting a negative connotation on the news. And so we brought out these dogs, these American bullies, and gave them a platform because the UKC and the AKC didn't recognize these pit bulls or these bully breeds. So a guy named Dave Wilson, founder of the ABKC, along with Atomic Dog Magazine and our True Group, we did these tours around the United States. And that's how I hooked up, reconnected with Miles, because I told Miles, I go, listen, the same guys that are going to your car shows are the same guys that own these bully dogs, and they're, instead of bringing their cars out to these shows, they're bringing their dogs, their kennel name in the background, they're barbecuing, they're drinking. We need to cross promote. And that's where the real business relationship between Miles and I came together. He would bring out the cars, and I would bring out the dogs. We'd have a concert, car show, pulling 5,000 to 7,000 people to a dog show.
That's crazy.
It was amazing, brother.
I got to connect you with my boy Alex Mejia. Alex is out in LA. Alex has an amazing history in music. He was part of the KMEL out here it's like the Power 106 of LA. The legacy. He's got a lot of history, and he's down in LA. He does a lot of great production and stuff like that. I think he'd be a great asset to your team, or just even have conversations when it comes to hip hop and the hip hop history. I mean, we have it because we lived it, but the more the merrier. And then at the same time, depending on what direction you guys go, we can also talk about the hip hop culture in the Bay Area and all of the West Coast, man, because there's a lot of hip hop culture in the Latino community on the West Coast as well that would be nice to highlight as well. So Alex,
Mauricio, let me kind of bring it up to par. So one of the things that really motivated me as a child, believe it or not, I was thinking about this because I'm getting back in the gym, getting into my best shape, and I was asking myself at the gym when I was doing my push-ups, I was like, how did I get so motivated? How did I get so passionate? Because I am, and I realized the common denominator was rejection. I got a lot of rejection because my dad wasn't around at first, right? My two older brothers are 7 and 8 years older than me. So when I was 9, 10 years old, they're 17, 18. And I was the little kid chasing my brothers around, hanging out with older kids. But what my brothers doing? They're rejecting me, chasing me away to go home, get out of here. They would ditch me. So the rejection that I got, even I broke out with acne really bad in high school. The rejection I felt like I got from the opposite sex. That's what like motivated me to become a good DJ.
Right.
I like coming out at night because you couldn't see my pimple face. You know what I'm saying?
That's what motivated me to become the #1 promoter in the Bay in Northern California, brother. Rejection, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So that rejection, when I realized that it calloused my mind. Mm-hmm. It made me stronger. So
mental toughness, man. Mental toughness.
I just knew that rejection wasn't the stay at, it wasn't the place for me to stay. If you keep going, I realized life opens up. Girls started to open up. Business started to open up. Everything I realized is like, man, if you just keep going, life gives you what you want. Amen
to that, my brother. Those that do not ask will not receive. I mean, I know that's my version of it. The squeaky. What do they say? La boca que no. That's right. So, man, this is I gotta say, man, I don't believe in coincidences. I believe that this conversation was long due, and I appreciate the fact that again you're sharing the things, and we can go on for hours here. I want to. So. We've hit Dale Duro, we've hit your film production, we've hit your background in the music industry. Taco Maps, man, that's the next one that pops up because I got a whole list of here, so we got to talk about Taco Maps is the next one that just like what's up with that and where is it at today? Because what I know, like you, we get hot on a project, we move on, and then we had this conversation earlier. What makes us, what allows us to have multiple businesses and get involved in multiple projects is having teams. Most so definitely. Talk to me about Taco Maps.
So Taco Maps came, I was leaving an event. So I've been in the real estate and mortgage business for the last 20 years, right? Financial services. And we were leaving an event downtown LA around 10 o'clock. And I wanted tacos, but I didn't want to go to King Taco. We always go to King Taco, right? I wanted some barbacoa, dip in some consomme tacos, and I just didn't know where to find some at the time. So I was like, man, where can I get some barbacoa tacos at right now? I want some bomb street tacos.
Yeah.
And at the time, this was a couple years ago, there was Yelp, but LA made it legal for street vendors to pop up on the street and sell tacos. Before it was a crime, but then they passed an ordinance that allowed them to do it. So I was like, how many taco trucks lose their spot? Because I had friends that had taco trucks. They would lose their spot and have to move. But their following didn't follow them. So I was like, man, there needs to be like a Taco Maps that follow the taco truck like Uber. Like you could find the taco truck where it's at and whenever it's at as long as they turned it on. Mm-hmm. And so then I realized, I was like, you know what? Tacos is the only food group that has a day. There's not Hamburger Wednesday, Burrito Thursday, but everybody knows there's Taco Tuesday.
Taco Tuesday, man. Whoever invented that, man, was a genius. Genius.
Yeah. Tacos a day, right? So I realized that even though there is like, okay, what are the competitors to Taco Maps? Well, you got Yelp, you got DoorDash, you got all these other services. But because tacos is such a loved food group, and it's affordable. Yeah. We created Taco Maps to be basically, right now we're in a beta phase just in LA right now. Our revenue stream model is to get your taco catering through Taco Maps. So if you need a taquero for your party, for your business, you can go to Taco Maps, click on the deal, and find the hottest taqueros in your area. And nice. That was one of our beginning of paying customers. But then the pandemic hit. So we kind of just like put that on hold for a little bit. But we're adding tacos to the maps. It's a good platform. It's great. It looks good.
Yeah, great logo. Great logo. I mean, it was it was genius, man. And that I'm about branding and marketing again, just the way that we've been brought up, man. We've been exposed to a lot of great brands that started back in our early years. And so yeah, no, I'm hey, count me in on that one too, man. if you know, hey man, we're here in the heart of Silicon Valley, man. So if there's the pitch deck,
a presence
yeah,
forth, and definitely want you a part of that, brother.
Yeah, man. Well, thank you, and definitely we have a lot of great taco places or Mexican restaurants or restaurants that have tacos. So it would be definitely a great market to tap into. And man, with 30 plus million people here in California, there's definitely a potential of revenue there for that business. So Taco Map, so that's in the pipeline right now. Obviously, pandemic, it's whooping its ass because it's not like we can go out and really celebrate. But you know, a virtual version of that, and being able to still promote for some of the businesses that are out there that are struggling. And now with the world opening up, or California planning to open up by June 15th, they gave it a date. I don't know who's the one that comes up with this shit, but you know, hey, June 15th is the grand opening of California. So we're gonna get ready for that. The other part is blockchain, man. Blockchain and crypto speak side by side, hand in hand. What's up with this blockchain realty?
Yeah, so blockchain, so I got involved in crypto really heavily back in 2016, early 2016. I think Bitcoin was at $800. Litecoin was like at, $50. Oh no, Litecoin was like at, I take that back. Litecoin was like at $18, $14, right? Litecoin was really cheap at the time. And then you had a lot of altcoins that were coming out. So what we did was I actually was a co-founder of a fintech company. And one of the things that we realized, because we were going to Silicon Valley, we were talking to hedge funds, we were talking to VCs, we were talking to family offices, and it was just really difficult. They would commit to funding our project, but then keep on pushing the can down the road so the funding wouldn't come in. And then all of a sudden at the time, ICOs became hot, right? Mm-hmm. So we pivoted. We looked at our business model. It totally had what's called a utility case, where there was a use of a token inside of our platform, and we raised $8 million for that project, right? So we raised $8 million doing an ICO, which basically funded that project. That project's doing well. It's doing good in Latin America right now. It's called Ooh La La. I'm no longer with the company, but I was at the first 3 years, I was the business development for that company. And when I realized what blockchain can do, and obviously we see today where, Bitcoin's at $50,000 a token, everything is skyrocketing. Yeah. Countries are starting to use it. Iran might be the first country to really start using Bitcoin. So obviously the technology behind all these cryptocurrencies is blockchain. Blockchain is basically what it is. It's a ledger of transactions recorded that can't be removed, right? So I see in real estate too. In real estate, there's I don't know. I think I've been in real estate for the last 20 years. There is a major fee that you have to pay when you buy a house, when you sell a house, and that's title insurance. Title insurance is very expensive. $1,000 on both sides. So, but I think title insurance could be irrelevant with blockchain. Once you record houses on the blockchain, right? There it is right there. It's what's recorded. If there's damage to the house, that's recorded. If the deed was changed, that's recorded. So I just see that real estate on the blockchain really has a lot of value. So I named my real estate company Blockchain. There's still not a lot of adoption for blockchain in real estate yet. But I think down the line, of course, as cryptocurrencies become real mainstream, and right now it's kind of just like a commodity. It's like really like a store of value. Right. People are putting their money in, just like they're hodling and holding because they think it's going to be worth a lot. A lot of people have Bitcoin but don't even want to spend it, right? So it hasn't really become a day-to-day operation. No, as money's concerned. It's really like a store of value, kind of like gold or silver or something like that, right?
Well, I've done that. I've parked some money in some coins in some different ones, And this week was a pretty exciting one. I was like, oh man, I'm breaking little. I have little set goals that once it hits to that point, then I'm like, and then I kick myself in the ass too, because I'm like, shit, I should have bought more. But I'm like, then that's the greed that kicks in my mind. I'm like, no, just slow and steady, because I also remember at one point we used to own Bitcoins, and unfortunately, my partner at the time, he decided that we'll just sell them, and at that time they were probably worth like $1,000-$1,500, and I don't even want to tell you how many, because I know that the last time, or the time that we had said, hey, what if we didn't sell those coins? How much would we have right now? And I think we were north of $10 million that we would have had. And that one kind of sucks, because you're like, let's not talk about that, because it hurts, But again, we never know what's going to happen. So part of being an entrepreneur is that we take risks. And that's probably why we have multiple businesses and get involved in multiple things. Now, when people come at me and they say, oh, Mauricio, you're a jack of all trades and master of none, I'm like, you know what? Fuck you, because guess what? The difference is that I take risks and you don't, you know? So the person that doesn't want to take those risks will never know, and they'll live in a safe zone. And that's okay if you want to be in a safe zone, but at the same time, don't be critical of others that like to take risk, because at the end of the day, I have a smile on my face. I'm happy with where I'm at. Like you, I've taken, as we get older now, we're not those little young bucks that, we can recover quick from things. So I'm like, hey, fitness and health have become a big part of my life as well. Yeah. With that said, before I forget, we just signed our deal with Punch King Fitness, Punch King World. I had him as a guest last week. King Lay, who's my business partner now. I want to send you a bag, or have you come up and try our system and then take a bag back, or I'll take one. Either way, man, you're gonna have a Punch King bag, personal one for yourself. So that's a done deal. The beautiful part about it is that it's not just a bag. There's technology behind it, and I don't want to give out too much secrets, because we're really like, this thing is. I want to say it's the next big thing, but just like anything, we got to just be cool about it. But consider yourself, you'll have one of my Punch King bags down in your home or in your personal gym, man. So so we got that. You got the blockchain. I'm into it, man. I'm digging it. Your real estate. How are you doing, by the way, in real estate right now? Because real estate is. I mean, we're in a bubble here in the Silicon Valley. You can buy a $4 million home, or with 4,000 square foot home here for $3-4 million in some of the areas, not all areas. Okay, and then add an additional 5,000-6,000 square feet and flip that home for 12 to 15 million. Yeah. And in my mind, I'm like, who the hell is going to pay that? Because that just doesn't turn me on, man. I have $15 million on a home. That to me is a liability. I'd rather put $10 to $15 million on a commercial or a property that generates revenue versus something that I got to go dump money, because I don't see that kind of home value going up. But how is the real estate market going for you down in Southern California?
Well, let me kind of add to that a little bit what you just said right there. There's I travel a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in Mexico quite a bit, and Mexico is full of freaking millionaires. There's so much money in Mexico and Latin America. Just here in the United States, there's so many people that have made a killing during these times right now, during with the stock market, just with Bitcoin, that have just totally made a killing, right? So there's people out there that have a lot of money right now, like millions and millions and millions of dollars, and just don't know what to do with it. That's one, right? So the market right now, because of the low inventory and so many people are on deferment, right? A lot of people aren't paying. So there's two sides of it, right?
There's a wave coming, my brother. There's a big wave. Yes.
One of the things that we're really big on our, so we have the retail real estate side, right? It's really difficult to get a client into escrow right now. You have like 20 to 100, I'm not exaggerating.
No.
20 to 100 offers on one house, right?
Wow.
And so it's really difficult to get your buyers into escrow. As a matter of fact, even people that sell their house, they're having a difficulty getting into escrow somewhere else. But they have the advantage because sometimes they've got equity and they're making money. So these are the people that are putting $20,000, $30,000, $50,000, $100,000 above asking price to get into these other houses, right? So there's an influx of, low inventory, interest rates are low, people are selling, equity is high, people have money to buy. So it's just causing real estate to just really just go buck wild. Right?
Yeah.
There is a flip side of it, though, because I'm always watching the numbers. I'm an investor, right?
Yeah.
So we're on property radar all the time, looking at notice of defaults, or looking at a lot of, renters aren't paying. They haven't paid for a long time. You got these owners that are paying for these houses because these renters aren't paying it. They don't want to pay for it anymore. They want to bounce out. So there's this weird,
It's a vacuum. It's a vacuum effect.
But it has to come to an end. That's the thing. There has to be an end to the string where it has to snap, right?
Yeah. Well, we're seeing that right now. We're seeing it right now. It's the stretch is coming to an end because, and I think that people, obviously you're hearing these dates. That's why I said, like, how do you make a date like, okay, hey, June 15th, we're going to open up California. Like, how the hell do you predict that there's not going to be a spike? Like, but now June 15th, they've committed again. We can get into political theories here and give our opinions on that, but it's just crazy. We are reaching that final tension, that final stretch, and I had the honor and pleasure of having dinner the other night with very high level executives, and they were telling me how they're cashing out and they're also going to be going into real estate. And I said, real estate, like you're not a real estate. I don't see. He goes, oh no, we're going to go buy apartment complexes.
Yeah.
And I go, and then the theory that came behind it was, because there's the big guys like the Avalons, the Essex, the big real estate guys that can hold those apartments, they can weather, because they're publicly traded companies, they can weather those storms. But the guy that owns 30 units, 100 units, or within that range, that's what they've built. They can't weather those storms when you got 75% of the tenants not paying the rent.
Exactly.
So there's definitely a lot of opportunities that are going to be coming. So man, okay. So I'm almost out of breath here from all the things that we're talking about. So we got the real estate part, and then Green Horizon, CBD and cannabis. Man, talk to me.
Let me just kind of take a step back for a second.
Yeah.
There's a disclaimer, right? So
There.
I've had one avenue of business that has been the bread and butter to fund all these other projects, right? And that's been real estate and loans, right?
Yes.
And financial services. So we have a real estate company where we help people buy and sell. We flip properties, right? That's where the big portions of the monies come from, right?
Yeah.
We also have a mortgage company that funds the loans for these people that are buying. And then we also have financial services to do the mortgage protection for these people that are buying and getting a loan on a house, right? So one client is getting us paid multiple times.
That's
Plus,
right.
at the very end, our closing gift to our customers is a Brinks home security, right? We take care of all the initial costs. They pay the monthly, and then we get paid from those Brinks security alarm systems.
The residual, man. Oh, genius.
So one client do the loan,
Yes.
do the real estate, do
That's
the
two.
financial services,
Yep.
do the Brinks insurance,
Four.
and
Yep.
then we ask for the referrals.
Woo! Money,
Right?
money, baby, money.
So
Money.
that is the business that finances Taco Maps, finances all the other stuff, the projects, the concerts, events, because some of these other projects take a while for the money to come back.
That's right. That's right. And again, so for you, it's the real estate, that process, because that's a transactional process, and there's a higher frequency. For me, it's my staffing business. That's what allows me to get what I call build the runway, and give me the runway to take the 747. I call it a 747 because we need a longer runway to carry the weight and the amount of business that we want to carry. And if we want to become sniper, then we go into the G4 version. We need a smaller runway, but we're not at that level yet. So what I say is build that base. And it's funny because we've titled this we call it our taco stand. Funny, right? It's our taco stand. Take care of the taco stand. Why? Because that taco stand, and if we think about it, I mean, we culturally can understand that terminology. It's what gives, it's the beginning, it's the roots that gives you the foundation to build off. For me, my second tier is the real estate development, because all it takes is one or two of those deals, or three a year, or one mega one, and next thing you know, you're in orbit. So there's a lot of different ways, different strategies, but you have to have those foundations. And by the way, I want to give a shout out to my business partner, King Lay, who's on here, and he just commented, he goes, blockchain realty, I love that. And then second was Taco Maps genius. King has a great story because we met back in 2009. I'll just drop this one in. He started a vendor, like a street taco version, but his brand was called What's Up Dog. And bro, how fucking genius was that? That I remember going to San Francisco, and in downtown San Francisco, very strategically placed, was a hot dog stand, and the brand was just so dope, man. It was very colorful. It just the branding was just on par. What's Up Dogs? I was like, oh, so that was my first interaction, and then to think that 10 years later, we circle back by no chance knowing that coming into the room, we're sitting, a 1 hour meeting turned into a 3.5 hour meeting in my office. And we were able to turn out a partnership business relationship for the future with now Punch King. So there's a lot of, you'd be surprised to see how things can just do full circle and then great things come out, because it's all about timing. Right?
Most definitely.
Timing is always key. Just honestly, like just tonight's conversation here is, it's all about timing. We could have had this interview last year, and probably the value would have been different back then. We still would have pulled value out of it, but I see now a lot more opportunities just from the conversations we've had, and I definitely think that this is going to be a long-lasting working relationship, man, moving forward.
Most definitely. So what I'm doing right now is kind of like where I pivoted, right? So in business, you got to pivot. Yes. You got to pivot. If you try to revive a dead horse too long, that thing's going to start stinking, and it's going to be harder to pivot when it's dead. You got to pivot quick. So one of the things that I see with the real estate market is, where I came on board with a company called the Financial Architects. Now I see that how real estate and mortgage professionals really need to start adding financial services to their business. The problem is with financial services, there's only a few companies out there that will allow you to have what's called an OBA, other business activity, right? Mm-hmm. And that's the multi-level marketing type of financial services, whether it's, there's some three big ones out there, right?
Yeah.
The problem is with that model is that they want to go through your warm market, and you got to start bringing people to meetings. And you know what? It just doesn't function for like me. I'm a business owner. I'm not going to bring my clientele to a Tuesday night and Saturday night meeting and constantly have to bring them and try to go through their warm market. That doesn't function. So with the Financial Architects, we're selling franchises that are proven, that are successful, that a business owner can add to their operations. Financial services where the owner doesn't need to get licensed. He just needs to hire a licensed person to add it to his operations already.
Well, we'll have to talk about that.
Sense.
Yeah, well, we'll have to talk about that because, and let me ask you, on that type of product, do you have it in Spanish? It's got to be in Spanish.
In Spanish, brother. We have it in Spanish, most definitely. And here's the other thing. California mandates that if you have over 5 employees, you need to get services to take care of those 5 employees. You need to have financial services in place, health benefits in place. So that's another thing. So if you have over 5 employees and you have a database, like I'm working with a bail bonds company that has a database so big that they're like, you know what? We could tap into this database and use financial services to help all these people. So if you have a business, it doesn't matter what it is. If you have a database, you need to get together with me and the Financial Architects, add this franchise or this white label to your business operation and add another revenue stream of business income to your bottom line.
I already see. I can add that service to California Labor Exchange, my staffing company, because
Exactly, brother.
yeah, I mean that. So definitely, there's a lot of synergies and a lot of opportunity here, man. And I see it, I hear it, and the only way that we can take benefit from this is obviously by taking action. And with that said, I wanted to I'm gonna make sure too, because I published 2 books. I have my Smoke and Mirrors, which talks about the nightlife and the upcoming, the coming up in the world that we were exposed to at a young age, and then my business book. And my 3 key pillars in that is decide, commit, execute. So we make a decision, we commit to it, and then we execute. And just like all these different businesses and opportunities that you're talking about, the only way it works is once we take action, man. So that's awesome, man. That's awesome. Well, good, man. So let me ask you, with all of this said too, these different businesses, what does the future look like for you? And, what's the game plan, moving forward?
Well, initially right now is 400 units across the United States, the Caribbeans, with financial architects. That right there, I feel, has the biggest market. Also, our cannabis and CBD company, those are legitimate legal companies. We feel that pharmaceutical and the big tobacco companies will eventually get involved once the United States Congress deems it legal throughout the United States. Right now, it's states by state that's making it legal. But we feel that once the U.S. government, because the Mexican government already made cannabis and CBD legal throughout Mexico, so we're working really close with politicians down there.
Did that pass? Did that pass already?
That passed. Now
it
it's
did.
just a matter of the laws, the description of the law to come out, right?
So with it passing, I mean that's got to really put a big hit on the illegal well, there's always going to be that black market, because the government's going to try to regulate it. But that's an interesting one, because I know everyone talks about it. Canada's has legalized it, and now Mexico. And the joke was the other day, because the different business partners that I have in that industry, they're saying there's no way they're going to want to see that money flying over the United States without grabbing a piece of it. So yeah. That's because, Canada to Mexico. So it's going to be interesting to see. And I think it's coming soon, man. The states are picking up momentum, and they're seeing the value of it. And you already know the pharmaceutical industry is in on it, and the tobacco industry is in on it as well. So
yeah,
it's happening.
So what we want to do is we're creating it's a pharmaceutical grade of CBD and CBG. We feel that CBG is really the play in the future, and even CBN. CBN is for sleeping. CBG is for pain management. CBD has all the benefits for different types of cancer. So there's definitely a great play for the cannabis and CBD market, but you got to get in it and get big enough so that way you get bought out, because these pharmaceutical and these tobacco companies, you will not be able to compete with them. They'll be able to do a better product, cheaper, with robots. So it's just going to be, you just won't be able to compete. So you just got to get in, get big enough to get bought out. And that's our goal right now.
Yeah, that's called the exit strategy. And I'm glad that you talked about that, because that's important too. So every business that I decide, that I make a decision to get involved in, one of the questions that I always ask, or I put in part of the plan is that I talk about, or I implement, is an exit strategy. Why? Because I'm not trying to do staffing the rest of my life. I want to build it to a certain place, and then come in and let somebody else take the company and take it to the next level. So exit strategies are always important to have in the business plan for the business. Man, you got me good and dizzy over there. Are you good now?
I have to charge my iPad because it's getting the battery's getting really low.
All right, no, we're good. So exit strategy is always a key component of a business, because and
that's the first component.
That's right.
You got to start with the exit strategy. If you don't start with the exit strategy and you don't reverse engineer to where you are today, You could basically be like a ship without a rudder. You don't know where you're going, right? So I build houses, so whenever you build a house, you got to come out with the blueprints, right? The blueprints tell you exactly what to do, how to do it, where to do it. And building a house, you need an engineer, you need an architect, you need construction workers. So same thing with your business. You need to have someone to construct the what the final product is gonna look like. You got to reverse engineer it. You need the capital to be able to do it. So those are all components to have a business successful. And
that's
so
awesome.
This is a thing that I've learned that a lot of, and I want to talk to my gente, my Latinos out there. Very important. This is the time to do your taxes correctly, right? A lot of companies, a lot of people out there want to really cut back on their taxes and say they didn't make so much money. But when it comes to financing, you need to be able to show that your business is making money so you can get the capital to expand. This is why Anglos get their businesses to hundreds of millions of dollars, because Anglos pay, they somewhat pay their taxes or show that they're paying their taxes in one form or another. Maybe they're spending their money. I mean, they're spending their money where it's showing that they're paying some taxes, showing they're making some income, and that's how you get the capital to grow.
That's right.
If you keep on showing that you're not making anything or you're in a deficit, no one's gonna loan you money. They're like, okay, well, you're not. Are you even?
Nobody wants to loan a loser, bro. Nobody wants to loan money to people that are losing money. And you're right, 100%. That's why for all the businesses that I'm involved in, we got to make sure that from the gate the books are straight, because at the end you want to be able to have the borrowing power from the institutions. So when you want to develop and grow, you have the ability to do so, because why? At the end, it's the exit strategy that people are looking at. So if they give you $500,000, $1 million, $5 million, $10 million, but you can 10x that, then they're saying, well, hey, we're gonna if we give him 10 million and he can turn around and make 100 million. Because there's a plan. There's not just, hey, give me 10 million and we're gonna hope that we're gonna make $100 million. So and a lot of that you can learn through some very expensive schools, and have some, or you learn them through what School of Hard Knocks, experience.
That's what I was gonna say. It's like I learned all of this through experience.
That's right.
So
that's right.
I've worked with the IRS. I know what it's like. I know, not claim anything to claim what you're supposed to claim. So, look.
I like how you said I worked with the IRS. I'm like, yeah, so we were talking. I could just imagine the conversation. So, no, man, I've been there.
People that let me talk about that for a second. The law, you want to have a good, fair trial, you need good lawyers that have connections. You want to work with the IRS, you need good lawyers that have connections. What's the common denominator? Having connections.
That's right.
Right? So you need, as a business person, to get involved in politics. Why? You need access. You need access to the right people to be able to help you when you have an issue. Okay? Right. I grew up as an Italian family, right? My uncle always said that if the mayor's giving you a problem, fund someone else to become the mayor. Right?
Yeah.
Why? Access. Right? What do Italians do? They put their kids through the FBI, through judges, through lawyers, doctors. Why? They need access in those areas. So growing up in an Italian family, right? A Mexican-Italian family, I grew up with the best of both worlds. It was all about getting access. Right. So what really helped me as an entrepreneur was I don't like the middleman. I want to go talk to the main person that has the decision power, because I don't need to waste time, right? So let's get to the point. Let's get to the right decision maker. And so you need access. So in business, you need to make sure that you're talking to the right people that have the power to make the decisions, to help you grow your business, to expand your business, or to make a sale, right?
Yep.
I've gone to a lot of events, and you're talking to these, what are they called? They're called minority directors for, like, I don't know, say P&G or Target, all these companies. And it's just a little segue of getting in but it's like a dead end street. You can't go nowhere there. You got to go higher. You got to keep going higher. And that's where I was talking about earlier, that the rejection helped me as a kid, because I know now that if someone says no, it just means that they don't have the power to say yes. So let me go higher. Let me keep going higher until I find that person that can say, okay, you know what? I understand. You made it here. You got to me. Let's see how we can figure this out.
Wow.
That's what business is all about.
Can you repeat that again? That phrase right now. The person that says no does not have the power to say yes. Is that how? Is that how, what the? How, that was. Hey,
I don't even know how I said it, brother.
I'm gonna have to go back and replay this one, man. I'm gonna mark it down at 1:30, around the 1:30 mark. Man, that is to me. That's it, and it's the fact, man. It's the way that the world is. It's not necessarily what you know, it's who you know, but it's a hybrid. You got to know what you're doing in order to know who you need to speak to, and then when you know who you need to speak to, then you can navigate through those waters. And I'm a big firm believer in that, 100%. Because what happens is if you start navigating those waters, it's you want to cut the learning process, the learning curve, make it shorter. And what's made it better for a person like me is just experience in life, and from learning a lot of life lessons. And life has a very interesting way of teaching us some pretty good lessons, that they're lessons for a reason. If you don't learn from those lessons, then you haven't learned the lesson, and you will continue to repeat it until eventually you will learn the lesson.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Life is always in session. There's always a lesson to be learned. And I think the most important thing that if you can get from this podcast is this: there's a cosmic joke out there, and the joke is you're worried or wondering what other people are thinking or saying about you. And if you get past that, and you don't let that affect you, what other people think or say about you, then you can be able to talk to anybody. And here's the other caveat to that: you just need to be your authentic self.
That's right.
People can sniff out right away when you're too salesy. I call it commission breath. When you got commission breath, they can smell that on you. They don't want to work with you. And if you're not a team player, look at the first thing that I do. Here's another Italian thing that in my family is that you got to give something in order to receive, right? So bring value to the table first before you even ask of anything. Yeah. Go out of your way. Notice what someone or something is missing, bring that to the table, add it. Once it has value, then you have the right to ask. So as a real estate, as a mortgage professional, when I first got started, I knew that real estate agents were the demigods and were not going to give me a loan if I didn't bring value. So what did I do? Is I found the client first. I went and knocked on doors. I went and did open houses. When I found the client, then I would go to the real estate agent and say, hey, listen, I got a qualified client. Would you like to show them houses? Yes. Okay, great. I want 2 loans that come across your desk because I'm giving you a qualified person already. I'm giving now him the client. Right. I would get listing appointments, and I would call up the best real estate agent in the area and say, hey, this is Damiano. I'm over at Executive Mortgage Group. I just talked to a family that want to sell their house. Do you want to go on that listing appointment? Oh, yeah, I'll go on that listing appointment. Great. Look, whether you get it in contract or not, I'm giving you the lead. You're going to go to the appointment. It's up to you to close them. But if you go on that appointment, I want 2 loans. I want your next 2 loans. Yeah. So I would give leads away for loans. Yeah. And that's what I realized right away, that I had to give in order to receive. And even at that point, I didn't receive. I didn't reciprocate. So what did I do? I told my lady at the time, hey, go get your real estate license. And you know what? We need to house this business within us. You do the real estate, I do the loans. Yep. And then we started doing that. Then we added the life insurance, right? The financial services. Teamwork
makes the dream work, brother. And I get it, man. And it's with any business. You have to provide a good quality service in order to get repeat business. And that's just it. Those are just magic. That's kind of the magic formula. And there's many magic elements or ingredients that go into being able to produce a magic formula. You know, you got to have a top quality product. There's a reason why good products cost more because they're made of quality, and it's just the golden rule, man.
Well, just like this podcast. This podcast provides quality.
Thank you, and I appreciate that because that's what I excel for. I want to bring quality people with quality stories so that we can have quality conversation, and I appreciate you saying that because that's why in following the things that you've been doing, I'm like, and one of the things that caught my attention was that when you put out that you were looking for some investors for the or people that were interested in that documentary. I was like, send it to me. Let me see this. Let me see what value I can bring. And there is some relationships that I can definitely bring to the table, along with my network through my network. I mean, They say your network is your net worth, but it's only your net worth if you understand how to mine it, if you know how to really pull out of it, because you may have 1 million followers, but if you don't know how to tap into into that source, then there is no value, and you just have 1 million followers, and that's it.
Yeah, exactly.
So well, good, man. Well, hey, we can go on for another hour here, my brother. I just want to say, man, thank you, and I really do appreciate the fact that you took an hour and 36 minutes of your life here to be here with me and with our audience. And I love the fact that that people will. This is going to be a living podcast for the rest of our lives. It's going to be sitting on some platform where people are going to watch our story and hear our story one day. If not today, someday they will, and that it can resonate because we both bring value to the business entrepreneurship world, but also to our community, man. And you do have the best of both worlds. Italian, to be Latino and Italian, bro, that's off the hook, So congratulations and to your family. I know we didn't get to dive deep into your personal life, but really I appreciate just from the bits and pieces that you shared that obviously you've turned out to be a great person, man. And again, I just want to remind you, thank you, man, for having the courage to one, be an entrepreneur and take that risk, because I know what it's like. There's moments, and I've been going through a little rut recently where it just kind of, you wake up and you're like, man, I got to get up because people rely on me. They're depending on me in order to put for their own needs in their life. So I need to get up, and I use that as my energy to get me out, because not every day is a beautiful day. Well, let me take that back. Every day is a beautiful day, but every circumstance in our business world doesn't feel like it's going to be a great day. So words are powerful, so I got to be careful.
Yeah, let me just add to that real quick. So I have this everlasting joy. I have this everlasting love, right? It really is everlasting, right? And the way I keep it consistent, everlasting love, everlasting joy, high levels of energy, right? Is one is I know I only have moments. I don't have yesterday. I don't have tomorrow. All I have are moments. So in the moment, I'm very conscious of my moments. And I know that the thinking that's going on in between my ears is not thinking, it's daydreaming. It's just stuff that just pops up out of nowhere. So I really do, if there's something that pops up in my head, I cancel it. I flush it down the toilet. There's these NLP tricks that you can do to your mind to just like get rid of thoughts and one of the things that I do that really help me is I just say Jesus' name over and over. So if there's something that pops up in my head that I don't feel is consistent with who I am, I just say Jesus, 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 love, love, love. And I turn it into a song, right? And eventually it drowns out whatever was there. And then I refocus on what I need to focus on, right? Yeah. So there is an everlasting love. There is an everlasting joy. There is an everlasting high abundance of energy. Yes. And that's really just getting into your moment. And just really just being in that moment. Say, you know what, I got this moment. What am I grateful for? What am I excited for? And so it's not to say that I don't fall into ruts, because I do, but I'm able to get out of them a lot faster because, again, I give all the glory to God. I give all the respect to God. And I just go to Jesus and just say his name over and over and over. Now, have you ever seen that movie, Life of Pi?
No. You got
to watch that movie. I'm kind of like that guy, though. I follow Jesus Christ, but I've studied every religion there is, and I respect and have tolerance for every religion there is in the world, right? And because a lot of it has a lot of value. And there's actually an ancient religion called Zoroastrianism that I really like. And the three wise men that actually came to see Jesus were Zoroastrian, right? So you really start to see it and just really see how the world is really tied in. And, you know, so there's no coincidence. But again, we were never taught how to be a human being. We go through the experience of living, and a lot of us are just on autopilot. Right. Yes. And so we need to overhaul the educational system. We're taught how the brain works. We don't know how the brain works, how the heart works, the gallbladder works. We need to know our own body, how the body works, how it processes food, what food's good.
Yeah, they can't figure out they can't even figure out the appendix. And here I lost my appendix.
So hey, listen, I just want to kind of end with that, just because I think it's very important. Mindset, looking in the mirror, loving who you see in the mirror, appreciating who you see in the mirror. And I think it's that self-love, self-respect, self-appreciation that from there you can build off of anything because you believe in yourself. You got good mental, positive mental attitude up here. You know, you're pushing through anything.
Interesting you say that. I think that when we're there's the sayings, and sometimes these sayings can be very dangerous because they can become rabbit holes for people like you and I, where they say, oh, it's lonely at the top. Well, it's not necessarily lonely at the top, but we need people to pour into us as well. You know, we're always pouring out into others because we want to see great come out of everybody that's surrounding us, because we also want to create that environment. We want to have that environment around us. So what you just did in the last few minutes with me was you poured into me, and it allowed me to feel that, you know what, boom, wake up, Mauricio. There is someone of your, a colleague of yours, or someone in your mindset, your frequency, you know, that's getting a little bit on the deep side, but you understand it because we get it, because on a constant daily basis, we are at a high frequency because we are making decisions. And at the same time, we're making decisions for everything and anything so that we can continue to keep things moving forward. Definitely. And then it gets tiring. I mean, after a while, your brain is like, I mean, and I wish that we knew how to tap into other parts of our brain, but that's a whole different other conversation.
Yeah. I'd love to have that conversation too.
Yeah. And definitely we can have that offline. Because I have those kind of great conversations with Miles. Miles has been an amazing mentor and great friend, and he's dumped a lot of that stuff into my mind and has allowed me to think differently. So, but I understand it, and I think that what we need to do sometimes is we need to have balance, because it can't always be work. We got to have our hobbies and our things that can give us that downtime where our mind can go somewhere aside from business. And for me, I love to ride motorcycles. And I love the ocean. I love to go out on my boat. But when I'm on my motorcycle, I got to be focused, because you're talking about a fast bike, and there's jokes out there. You know, they call the motorcycle a jealous mistress, because if you start thinking about other things while you're on a bike, you run the risk of a lot of dangerous things. So for me, though, it's just
that's very true.
Yeah, no, it's the truth, man. And so we got to be very focused on those things, but we also got to be able to bring balance, because if we're always too much of one thing, then it takes away that balance. And they always say things in moderation, and everything in moderation, as much as you can. And I know it's hard for us because we have those alpha minds, man, where we just want to go, and we want it now. But one of the biggest things that I've learned and through the successes is patience, being patient, and then at the same time, and Maria just put a comment up here, is sharing all one, she wants to say thank you for sharing these moments, but thank you for acknowledging is really, we got to be living in the moments, and that's what triggered. I caught moments where we got to live in the now as well, and we got to be able to appreciate what we have. It was crazy when you said what you said a few minutes ago about what you do to get you out of your ruts. I was listening to David Goggins, who's one of my favorite speakers, and Steve Harvey the other day. One of those, in the mornings, instead of putting music, which I do love music in the morning, but sometimes I really want to just charge my brain. And one of the things that he said is, in order for you to have more, you have to learn to appreciate and have gratitude for what you have now. And it really hit me like boom. It was like I felt like a slap in the face. I was like, holy shit, because we're going through one of the most this thing will never happen probably for another 100 years, this type of pandemic, right? If it ever happens again. And I'm really looking at some of the things and where I'm at in my life, and I started to really think and say, man, I got a lot to be grateful for, man. I got a show, I got a business, I got a beautiful office, I'm in good health, I feel good, I look good, I have clothes, I'm healthy. So then all of a sudden I started to turn things around, and it just really, and you're right, you got to just crush and suppress all the bullshit and whatever crazy thoughts start coming between our ears, and once we suppress that and crush it out, it's gone. And
it really is.
Once you put it behind, it's done, it's gone, it's behind you, and you move forward. And I just want to say thank you, man, because this conversation right now just really it became about me right now. I'm going to take it back for me and just say thank you, because I needed something like that. There's not too many people that, and this is part of the, people that are watching out there, you will find someone or something that will trigger you and will give you that ability to say, will snap you out of the funk that you're in, because that's what happens. I always tell people, they say, oh, I'm poor. I say, no, man, poor is a state of mind. Broke is only temporary. And that sounds like a cliche, and we've heard it all, but really poor is a state of mind. If you think poor and you want to, and you continue to look at things from a poor lens, you'll never break those barriers, that glass. I don't know, just you'll never break through that wall. So. Yeah. And that's another car. We can keep going, my brother.
You're absolutely right. So like the way, like, again, that everlasting love, that everlasting joy in the moment, right? So like I got a lot of business going on. I was just calculating right now. This week I have about $45,000 in my pipeline that could totally just fund. So that's best case scenario for this week, right? Mm-hmm. And so I'm like looking at all that, but all of it, every single bit of it, there's a problem. There's a problem in every single bit of one of those deals, and there's a chance that none of them could fund, right? So I'm looking at my business, but I look at that. It's like I'm not attached to any of it. Mm-hmm. I'm not attached to if it funds, if it doesn't fund, if it goes well, if it doesn't go well. I'm not attached. But what am I doing? I'm doing the best that I can, and that's all I can give. And if it works out, great. And if it doesn't, that's okay too. I'm not attached to any of it. That's right. And here's why. I've lowered all my expenses. I don't have no expenses. House is paid off for the year. The insurances are paid off for the year. I don't have nothing except all the money I make is mine, because the year's already paid off. I pay it off in January. I don't have to worry about nothing until the end of the year. So everything I make, I got rid of the Maybach. I got rid of all the expensive cars. I got a car that's paid off. Yeah. I don't have the Maybach. I the $25,000 Hublot. I got rid of it. What do I wear now? Weewoods. I love Weewoods. They're wooden watches, right? Yeah. So like I've lowered I got rid of all the stuff that I don't need. Having that watch when I would go travel, I'd be like, did I leave the watch out? Did I need to put it away? I don't have those stresses no more. The Maybach was expensive, as far as the insurance and all this stuff. Having a CLS 63. Hey,
just the maintenance, my brother. Trust me, Ferrari 360 right here, man. Yeah, exactly. I know what it's like. Yeah, brakes, back in the day.
Brakes are like $2,000. Mm-hmm. So what I'm getting at is like, I got rid of stuff I just don't need. Mm-hmm. Like growing up poor, like growing up economically challenged. I wanted all those things. Well, I experienced them. Now it's just like it's about having fun. It's about experiencing life. But the most important thing that I was getting at is that I have problems. I have problems. I have things that are going on, but I only give it energy when it needs my energy. When it doesn't need my energy, I put it back on the shelf. And what needs my attention, I take it off the shelf, give it my undivided attention. When I'm done with it, I put it back on the shelf. It's not necessary right now. So that's how I chunk my life to have everlasting joy, to have this high energy, is because I just focus on what's important. And what's important right now? You. That's right. You're important right now. That's it. Everything else is on the shelf. And then as soon as I get done with this, guess what? Other things are going to be important. Okay, now let me focus on this. I got to go to the gym after this. So I'm going to go to the gym, right? At the gym, I can run and think and process what I need to do and how to overcome solutions. That's
right.
why I love going to the gym, because that's my time when I run. I can think about coming up with solutions. And it's when you're in action, when you're out there working, it's when your brain is smarter, it's sharper, and you come up with some good stuff. And that's another little caveat to getting ahead, right? Yeah. Focus on what's in front of you. Everything else put on the shelf to later. When it is important, when you got to focus on it, now focus on it. But don't give it any other energy until you need to refocus on it.
And the same thing with business. And that's how we are able to manage multiple businesses, because we know when to turn it off and then turn it back on when we need to. And because we can condition ourselves to do that, we're able to turn on and off quick, and then jump right into action. And at the same time, we can it's almost the good and the curse at the same time. But it's just how we're built, man. That generation and that experience that we have, because again, we're running parallels. It just seems like the common denominator here is the fact that we just go, man. We get shit done and we make it happen. There's no excuse. For me, I always say there's a mantra that I created for myself, that nothing or no one will get in the way of my success. Period. And nothing or no one will get in the way of my success. Now, it's a strong one, because I have to remind myself. But you have to also have values behind it. It doesn't mean that nothing or no one, meaning that you're going to go do things that are unethical or that are out of moral compass. So you're going to do things that are that are right. And I think that one of the things that I really learned from all the experiences that I have was that I'm in a much happier space now, being in the industry that I'm in, doing all the multiple businesses. I still go. I still visit the entertainment side because it's my roots, and I'm very passionate about it, and I dominated it. But I can only do them in spurts. I can't do them like I used to, because when you're in that lifestyle, because it's a lifestyle, it becomes a lifestyle that I did it when I was younger, and I'm cool with it. Like I'm done. Like for me,
I totally get it, and I'll just say this last thing about that too, because I felt my association plummeted when I get back into that circuit.
Ooh, and man, you might have just ruined the deal that I'm doing right now, but or you might have just saved me from myself.
Well, here, I'll talk. Let me talk about the cannabis space for a second. I'm trying to bring like a corporate structure to the cannabis, but there's such another side of the market that just been gun wild, right? It's hard for people to honor and keep their commitments, right? Mm-hmm. So same thing. It's like there's certain industries that you got to get in and know what you're doing, but you got to also be careful, because associations, you become who you hang out with.
That's right. 100%, million percent. I believe in that.
You got to just be careful about the associations, or delegate to other people, because there is value in creating, but you just put other people in place to do stuff that you don't really need to be involved in. So you just delegate some stuff. So associations are everything. And that's why I feel right now, and I think the biggest thing that I got going on for myself, and that I feel that has a huge exit strategy, is the financial architects. I think, in the insurance space, that's where people put their money. Where do banks put their money? Where do endowments put their money? Where do universities put their money? With life insurance companies. Yeah. Why? Because these are companies that, unlike a bank can loan out the money that you put in it 10 times. No, a life insurance company, whatever money that they have, they need to have 4 times it to be solvent. So it's the opposite with a life insurance company versus a bank. Yeah. So that's where I feel that the bigger play, the bigger legacy, the bigger exit strategy for Damiano is with the financial architect. So that's where I'm spearheading what we're doing there, to really just, because I just feel like that's the $100,000 play. I could sell Taco
Mac. No, $100,000 play. No, bro, you're $100 million play, bro.
$100 million play.
Yeah, $100 million play, brother. That's
I could sell Taco Maps for a couple $1 million. I could.
Yeah.
And I'll get it to where I can sell it for a couple $1 million. The other businesses too, same thing with the cannabis. You know,
Yeah.
that's a couple million there. There's
Yeah.
exit strategies there, but the biggest one is with the financial architects. I think we could sell that for a couple hundred, you know, two to
100 million, yeah.
$100 million.
Well, you can do it north of 100 million, and I've seen people that are in the financial industry world that sell their book of businesses for
Yeah.
a lot. They cash in on their book of business, and they make it. They retire for the rest of their lives. And I say they win the game of they win the game of money, not life, because life is you don't win life, man. You just got to play life.
Exactly.
And so I agree, and I think that model makes a lot of sense. The business partnership that we've just formed with the Punch King brand, we're looking at things as the franchise model. And when you do simple numbers and you know how to compound numbers and you know how to scale numbers, you'll start to see that you don't need a lot to make a lot. You just need to know how to utilize the power of numbers. So
Exactly. Yeah.
and really that's just education, man. You gotta continue to educate. I'm always reading or listening, and I'm always learning from others. And again, one of the key things that you said was you are who you associate with. Power of association as well, and that's something that I've learned to really narrow down. I've cut a lot of excess out of my life. People that I just are what I call energy suckers or just energy drainers, and I've put some really high level people. I've surrounded myself by some very high level people that I can actually I can say in my mind that I've surrounded myself by a couple billionaires that and that's B with a boy, B as in boy.
Yep.
And I've been able to really learn and listen to the way that they think and talk and associate, because it's other associations. And I have a lot of multimillionaire friends or people that I associate with, and I'm watching and learning and seeing. And that's the other thing, is that you got to learn from people that have been there versus the people that are trying to tell you something. And then you ask them, well, have you ever been there? And they're like, no. And then that just becomes you can't teach me if you haven't been there. And that's what I think one of the great things about us is that we see each other. We're running multiple lanes, and we understand we can have this conversation and understand it because we've been there, we're doing it, and we've done it also in the past. So, man, I got to tell you, we broke some records, man. So for the 10th show, not only did I have two guests tonight, but we are the longest. This is the longest show of the season, and we're gonna definitely break the 2-hour mark. And I just want to say thank you, man, again, because I know the time is valuable, but this is also valuable for both of us because we're both we're just pouring in, man, and I'm happy that people are watching. I got on my side, I can see all the comments, and again, we're being broadcasted on 3 different platforms, 4 different channels. So. Anyway, man, I want to just again offer my network, the relationships that I have to any of the spaces that you may feel that that it can bring a value. I'm really interested in your Dale Duro part, because I love when we can also show the positive of our community and really put some light onto that. And then the other businesses, I mean, it's business as usual. Just some are fun and exciting, and it's just really fun to see the exit strategies, because the exit strategies, all of the businesses that I'm looking at right now, all the exit strategies are north of 100 million. Because, and I don't say that so people that are out there watching, I don't say that because I'm trying to impress anybody. I'm saying that because that's the level of the game that I'm playing at. I want to play at that level. I always tell people, you only live once. You're only on this planet once. Why play it on the low level? Play it on a high level. Go for it, because tomorrow. And again, it sounds like cliches, but tomorrow's never promised. And today we're here. Now we're here. And so I gotta say, man, this conversation tonight was an amazing one. Thank you. I really appreciate what you've shared with all of us, what you shared with me. And I hope that we can continue to have these types of conversations moving forward, and that we definitely work on some projects together, man.
Beautiful. I'm in agreement. I'm in accord.
Let me ask you one last thing. What do you feel? And we'll keep this one short. I just want to kind of end it sweet. What is your contribution back? How do you pay it forward?
One of the things that I do is so taco maps is we feed the homeless, right? Tacos is one of the easiest way to feed the homeless, even if it's egg tacos, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you could just wrap a tortilla and just about anything, even if it's a weenie,
Mm-hmm.
So
Right. Yeah.
right. So
Yeah.
I made one
I've
taco
had
growing
tortillas with hot dogs.
right? So that's one thing. But at the same time, I'm a licensed coach. So one of the things that I do is I work with veterans that have PTSD, stuff like that, really to get people out of the ruts that they feel that they're in, but it's just really temporary. I just remind people, when you're in the darkness, don't get used to don't let your eyes adjust. Darkness is just a period. But if you allow your eyes to adjust and you think you belong there, no, it's a time to get through, right? So yeah, no, it's just really working with veterans, working with the. Here's the thing about I've worked with the homeless for so long. There's three types of homeless.
Mm-hmm.
There's the ones that don't want to be homeless and they do whatever it takes to get out of being homeless.
Mm-hmm.
There's the ones that actually like being homeless. They want to be homeless. Yeah. They don't want to. They just rather live on the streets.
Yep.
And then there's the third ones that are mentally ill. They just don't know really what's going on, right?
Yeah.
Whether it's drugs or it's psychological. So I've learned the street life very well on the type of homeless people there are out there. I still feel that one of the best things that we can do for the homeless people is giving them access to showers, because if you could wash your body, get some decent clothes. Whether you want to be on the street or you don't want to be on the street, it increases your confidence when you're clean. And unfortunately, a lot of the homeless people don't have access to a shower, have access to, getting their clothes changed. So I've always had the idea of having these mobile showers that where people can go in, take a shower, get rid of clothes, and get like fresh calcetines, socks, underwear, undershirts, trade in their shoes. So that's one of the things that I'm really big on, is just lifting people's spirits to feel like, hey, I can go back out after this, giving them free haircuts, right?
Yeah. You and I are definitely on the same frequency then, because there's a group called Lava May out of LA. The Baker Boys did a video with, again, Alex Mejia, and I'm going to introduce you to him. Lava May is a program that does that. There's a mobile shower that goes around downtown Los Angeles, Skid Row, and they provide that service. And I work with the homeless community as well here in the Bay Area and Silicon Valley. Crazy that's a pandemic in itself, or an epidemic, and it's crazy to see that the amount of homeless that's occurring on a daily basis, and that's just because of the three different versions of reasons that you have. The people that don't want to be homeless, that will do whatever it takes, is because they just went through some real rough times and something has triggered it to put them there. And then there's the people that want to live on the street, that's their mindset, that they're wired that way, hardwired. And then there's the group that has the mental illness, and mental illness can be broken down in many different layers and directions. And I gotta say, man, thank you for sharing that, because that in children are my children that have lack of resources, is one of the biggest things that I like to get involved in. With the pandemic, it's been really tough, but there's no excuse. Now that things are going to start to get things moving, opening up, we're going, get back active, and there's definitely a lot of resources and a lot of people that are I mean, this thing really opened up our eyes to this pandemic we went through. This last 12 months have been a very eye opener to a lot of different things that have happened in our world. But again,
what a lot of people don't realize, what's happening right now throughout LA, these food banks, the lines are ridiculous. Miles around, blocks and blocks and blocks, people in line, nice cars in line to get free food.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of that. So, talk to your friends and family, say, hey, do you need anything? You know what I mean? You just really don't know who's going through something, right? So it's just amazing, these lines that I see. These food banks are just like, I'm not exaggerating how.
No, no, no. I've seen it. I've seen this, and I think that part of our successes and our financial gains that we get. For me, I put it out to the universe already. Once, as I'm building this empire and I set up obviously myself, we got to be able to take care of ourselves first and foremost, because we're no good to others if we're not. But we've also found levels of what we consider taking care of ourselves. Like you, I don't have the big desires like I used to. When I was younger, and I needed to have the Ferrari, I needed to have the big home, I needed to have I still have my little token jewelry pieces, but those are pieces that were done from so long ago, because they're priceless, they're timeless. They're not. But I don't have that desire that I need to go get that next Rolex or the next Breitling or the next Hublot, whatever the hell you call. Like I don't need that. That doesn't satisfy my soul. Yeah. It doesn't make me feel good. What makes me feel good is being able to see a smile on a face of someone that I've been able to direct, help, and guide and mentor, and that satisfies me more. Just like when I used to do events. I mean, the satisfaction was when I stand on the stage and I look at everyone just like, and I'm like, yeah, that's you're rocking, because I put this party together and I brought these DJs and we're on the same vibe. So that was the excitement that I got, was the smiles and at the end, like, oh, that was the baddest party, blah blah blah, and I'm just like, cool. It stroked me. Now for me, it's is giving back, and the more
I think one of the ways that we could all eventually give back is create like an incubator that allows young business minds to find out what it is that they want to do. So I think with today's, there's I tell kids all the time, it's like, focus on your passion, whether it's being a tattoo artist, whether it's being a gamer, right? A lot of kids are into gaming, and there's money in gaming.
Yeah.
Like, man, there's money in gaming. And so
yes.
There's like, so I tell kids, just really focus on your passion. And if you focus on your passion, you're definitely going to get compensated for it. So I think eventually there needs to be, from the Latin community, maybe our generation, that creates an incubator to really help people go after what it is that they're, excited about. So I think that's something.
I think we have an opportunity, to add on top of what we're already working on. And I know, so where I was going with this is that in taking care of myself and my family, that my goal is to build this empire, and then obviously offer it to my children first, and then at the same time with the intention that they're going to continue to serve and help others. If not, then it will be given away. And obviously there'll be a plan for it being given away, because it's not just going to be like, oh, here, take it, but there will be a plan so that it makes an impact and leaves a mark behind.
That's beautiful that you said that. So
yeah,
that's one little element that I left out in what we do. And what you're talking about is a living trust, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there are living trusts out there that if you don't have a living trust right now, and you have parents that are above 65, 70 years old, and they have assets, make sure that you make sure that they have a living trust. I see it all the time where people are passing away, properties going to probate, and it takes 1 to 3 years for those those assets to be distributed. So just make sure that your family members, if they have assets and they're older, even if they're younger, everybody worked tap out at one time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Why isn't tap out around anymore? Unfortunately, one of the dopest human beings that lived this earth was a guy named Charles, right? Charles, unfortunately, crashed his Ferrari in Newport Beach, passed away, unfortunately, without a living trust. And tap out today doesn't exist, partly because of the ramifications of him not having a living trust. So, and I'm not saying that's the true story. That's the story that I've been really close to the company. And those are some of the things that I witnessed watching. Okay. Yeah. Unfortunately, he passed away. No living trust. You hear the things that are going on because I'm in the community of MMA stuff. So make sure your family has a living trust.
There you go, my brother. There you go. Well, good. Let's wrap it up, my brother. We have broken records. Thank you so much, man. This has been a marathon of a day, marathon of a conversation. I always tell people, man, I'll outwork you. I've been standing all this time. I love to stand when I'm engaged. When I work, I actually stand and work. I have a standing desk because I feel it keeps me engaged at all times. So I just want to say, man, definitely it's great to have this conversation. I look forward to having more of these with you, and look forward to doing some business with you. And I definitely want to put this out there now in the universe, is that I'd like to come up with something or come somehow work together with you to do something for the homeless community. I know that we can, these units. I've actually priced these things out. The Lava May Group has a if we wanted to do it, they basically give you the template of what it costs to put these things together. It just takes time, energy, and money to make it happen, and that's.
Are they like the Tough Shed?
What they're on wheels. It's on wheels. It's a mobile. I'll send it to you. I'm gonna make a note here to send you that because
I'm really big into that.
Yeah. So let's
style homes.
Yeah, let's. Oh, well, that's the tiny home stuff that's they're working on that out here in the Bay Area, because they're trying to find solutions to the homeless problems that we're having. So
yeah,
but definitely something that we can work on together. But let's follow up, man. We got a lot to follow up. I just want to say again, thank you so much for setting up the interview for today, for you being here, and also setting up my future guest, Melo Mayonnaise, who's going to be here on the show at the end of the month. I'm excited for that, and I'm looking forward to, I might even bring you back on that day, and we'll have a little three-way conversation, because that'll be an interesting one to have, especially with his experience in the entertainment world, man. So anyway, my brother, thank you so much. Have a good night. God bless you, man. Great conversation. You and your family, stay safe, and we will talk soon.
All right. Thank you, brother. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you so much, man. Have a good evening.
Peace.
Wow. What can I say? Great episode tonight, episode 10. It hits home with me a lot of when I have these kinds of conversations with people that understand, and we have similar backgrounds. Being an entrepreneur and a business person, whether you're a man or a woman in the business world and you run your own business, it takes a lot, and the hard work and dedication and commitment and dedication that it takes to run your own business and to continue to keep the ball moving forward. So I want to say thank you to both of our guests tonight, Mattock Scariot, who was on today, director of the Jasper, the Poppy Jasper International Film Festival. My boy Damiano Raigoza. Man, it was a great show tonight, and I want to thank everyone that watched. Shout outs to we got Jaime Arana in here, Maria Aguirre, who's here. Thank you so much for your comments. I appreciated that. My mother, who's here, love you, Mom. Thank you for always being a supporter and being the one that planted the seeds in me to become the great person that I am today. King Lay, my partner, who's out there. Hey, man, Punch King, get ready, my brother. This thing's about to fucking launch like a rocket. And we had Hovana Perez, who's on here. Thank you for the comment. Great conversation. Yes. And to Maria Sid, thank you. Yes, thank you for making it happen earlier too. And to everyone that's out there watching the show, thank you for the continued support. And I look forward to sharing more with you. Next week, the next couple of weeks, we got some exciting guests. Next week, I got Fresca, who is a local on-air personality, woman on-air personality here on a local radio station in the Bay Area. And she's going to be my guest. And we're going to talk about women in radio. That's going to be a fun conversation. The following week, we just confirmed we're going to have the CEO and founder of Bump Box. I can actually say we've become friends and have had some amazing conversations. So we're looking to do some stuff too in the near future. He's going to be the guest the following week. And then we're going to wrap up April with Mellow Man Ace. And if you don't know the song Mentirosa, I'm gonna put it on put the YouTube link on my page, and we're gonna talk about what it's like to be growing up, being an entertainer in the '90s, and not only that, but being an entrepreneur during those times. So again, thank you everyone, and don't forget. Join me here every Wednesday, 6 p.m. on the West Coast, 9 p.m. on the East Coast. Mauricio Mejia live.